Hi everyone, it's Exoman. I just wanted to point out a couple of gardening tips for you today. One regarding palm trees. These are trees that I've talked about before. I've got a couple here on my property that's on the water here. You can't really see it, but there's a coastal creek out here. Well, it's a tidal creek, and we had a really bad freeze this past winter, and these two palms that are out closer to the more exposed by the creek, there's one there, and I don't know if you can see, there's one over here too. You see it back there in the corner right there. They were man, they took a lot of freeze. It was a very deep freeze, and not being protected or close to the house or close to other trees, they were very damaged, but they survived. And I filmed this probably in June, a month ago. Today is July 5th. It's a day after the Independence Day. So from that, in that amount of time in June, when I showed the first signs of life, it was really one of those, I don't know what you call them. It was a shoot that comes up first, and it has kind of the seed tendrils. I don't know the terminology, but anyway, they showed signs of life. And then they seem to go dormant again. And you know, you can. I had a gardener. The guy that cuts my grass says, well, if they're not back by June, they're dead. You got to cut them out. You got to give up. Saw signs of life. Then nothing. Those things that came up just stopped and stayed and dried out and kind of died off. Well, a month later, I've been patient and waiting. A month later, I'm starting to see the first palm frond shoots coming up. So these are in fact alive. Look at that. It's July 6th, and that palm tree is just coming back to life. And so is that other one over there in the other corner. And so I have cut down, as I said in the other video, I have cut down palms before thinking they were done. The people at the palm places that sell these trees, they said, wait, don't cut them down. They're gonna make it through. It's just gonna take a while. And you know what? They were right. Kudos to them. So there you go. If you're questioning whether my neighbor cut his down, his looked a lot more dead than ours, and it's sad because these things are expensive and they're beautiful. So fortunately, I waited another week or so, and there we go. So that's the one tip. If you're questioning whether you should take out your palm, and someone says if it's not back by June, this guy was saying like the first week, beginning of June. Well, here we are in the first week of July, and I'm just showing signs of life. So, okay, so that's one tip. Another one is poison. I hate poison. I have to use it, but I hate it. My father-in-law, my dear father-in-law, has a lot of land out in Montana, and he was planting Russian olives. His intention was to, and he ended up doing it, put windbreaks for pheasants, acres and acres and acres of windbreaks. It's a wonderful thing, but in the process, he was killing off weed with his tractor, spraying Monsanto product, and he got cancer. He got blood cancer, and that is just horrible. And treatment, and he's stable now after years. Everything seems to be okay, but I hate poison. But I use it very carefully. Don't breathe the drift from that Roundup. Don't create a drift, and if you do, don't breathe it. Consider wearing a respirator or a kerchief around your face, something to keep from inhaling any mist from that. That's one thing. And now another thing is controlling, we're talking about weeds, but now controlling pests on fruit trees, etc., any of your plants and shrubs and trees. Neem oil is very safe to use. Consider neem oil. I did a video on it. Neem, N-E-E-M. It's an oil. I think it's out of India, Indonesia, those places. It's a plant oil, and it is a natural what do you call it? Pesticide. It keeps the pests off of your plants without damaging your plants. I had somebody on my last video say, "Man, that'll kill your fruit, it'll kill the leaves on your peach trees, etc., etc. I didn't have any problem with it. All I had was the abatement of pests, and they eat the leaves and eat the fruit. None of them. Sprayed them on I spray neem oil on my Japanese maples and on my fruit trees, pecan trees, all that stuff, and I don't have any problem with it. So I highly recommend that most effective ingredient in dealing with pests and not having the poison issue and not poisoning yourself or your pets, etc. So you can buy these things for, I think they're like $32 a quart or something, or $16 for a smaller, for like an 8 ounce. But it's such a good thing. I wouldn't recommend any specific product except to say get a pure neem oil product and dilute it and spray that for pest control. Okay, so happy summer. Hope everybody had a great 4th, and that's really all I had to say. Thanks for watching.